thumbs up when we get there. All right, we'll get
Yep.
started. Thanks, everybody, for being here with us as we head into NC State Week. We're going to start off with Coach Hammock. Just give us a little something on the Buffalo game, and
Yep.
then looking ahead to NC State.
Yeah, no, obviously Buffalo was a tough game for us. But one thing I told our players is, I love you guys. I didn't love them more after we beat Notre Dame and loved them less after we lost to Buffalo. And I think that's important, especially in this day and age of, where society is. So they gave their best effort. We didn't make the plays that we needed to make to put ourselves in position to win the game, and that's unfortunate. So I think we learned from it. I think Monday we had a team meeting and we guys took accountability, coaches took accountability, and I think that's only going to make us better. The one thing we have to be able to do is to trust the process, and the process is going to allow you to put yourself in position to have success. And one thing I truly believe is the true test of a team is what happens in defeat. Because when you win, you can overlook some things. I showed him a video this morning of Kobe Bryant. He said, when I lose, I get excited. And I think you get excited because there are so many things you can do better to improve, to get better. And that's where we're at. We had an excellent practice this morning. Got prepared. We practiced in the rain. Just in case it rains in North Carolina, we'll be ready for that. The elements, whatever comes our way, we'll be prepared for. Speaking of North Carolina State, obviously a well-coached team. Coach Doran has done a phenomenal job over the last 12 or 13 years that he's been there. He's built a program with tremendous athletes, a lot of draft picks over the course of his time there. And they have a good football team. I know if you look at their record is what it is, but they played two extremely difficult ball games in Tennessee and Clemson. And so for them, offensively, when you look at their team, it starts up front. They have a really aggressive and nasty and physical offensive line. They're going to play through the echo of the whistle. It's going to be a tremendous challenge for our D-line. They got a young quarterback that can really throw the ball well. A good athlete where they can use him to be a dual threat guy. They got two running backs that are really, really dynamic and explosive, number 7 and number 0, and physical. And then receivers that can run after the catch. When you look at their team, you can tell that they're very, very strong from the way they run through contact, the way they are able to make people miss and continue to run down the field. So we have a tremendous challenge defensively to make sure we gang tackle. We try to limit the explosive plays. I'm sure they're going to try to push the ball down the field, with double moves and different things of that nature. So we have to make sure we have great eye discipline. They're going to do a lot of eye candy, things to get your eyes in different spots. They're going to throw screens. They're going to try to get the ball to number 10 in a variety of ways, triple option, reverse, jet sweep. They have a nice offensive system that they use. Defensively, it'll be a little different test for us as far as the structure of the defense. This is a 3-3-5 configuration. Really good on the defensive line. Their defensive line allow their linebackers and secondary players to make plays. They do a great job pursuing, getting in position to make tackles. Their secondary, to me, the one corner is probably as good as the corner we've seen all year. I believe it's number 3. And so they do a good job playing in your face, playing physical, trying to make you feel uncomfortable at the second level. So we have a big challenge offensively, not only to block their front, but to handle movement, to handle their blitzes, their pressures, their stunts, their angles. They do a good job trying to create confusion offensively, and we got to do a great job up front. And then special teams, they have tremendous, special teams units. Their kickoff guy, I think he's 26 out of 26 for touchbacks, and it's not even going to be close. He's going to kick it into the stand. So, our kickoff return game will be minimal. Their punt return team, they're going to bring pressure. They're going to try to, create a block kick situation. Their punt return team, they got a dynamic returner, whether they decide to use number 10 or whether they decide to use number 21. They have guys back there that can make plays. So we have a tremendous test on special teams as well. And really we have to be able to neutralize that unit to give ourselves a chance to compete in this game. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Another powerful opponent that we get a chance to go on the road and play. We're looking forward to the opportunity. We embrace the opportunity and just really want to thank these guys for allowing us to have a chance to play them. In this day and age, everybody doesn't want to play you. So thankful for Coach Doran and his administration for allowing us to, play this type of game. And we'll try to go there Saturday and play our best football to date.
Coach, when you talk about this quarterback, it sounds like you're referring to C.J. Bailey, the true freshman.
Yes.
Does that mean you guys aren't expecting to see Grayson McCall?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's hard to see what happened to the other quarterback. If he plays, we'll be prepared for him as well. We played against him a couple years ago in the Cure Bowl. He's another dual threat guy. I'm not, their system is not going to change depending on the quarterback. So it's not like, you got one guy as the dual threat guy and one guy as a traditional drop back quarterback. They both can do very similar things. So we have to, prepare for the system, and then whatever quarterback goes out there, we'll adjust at that time.
Would you tweak your offense a little bit, considering you haven't seen this type of scheme on defense so far this year?
Yeah, no, you definitely have to do some different things offensively. Obviously, when you play in a three-down structure, right, some runs that work in a four-down structure doesn't work as well in a three-down structure. So, we have to, our staff has done a great job from a game plan perspective. We had a great practice today, getting a beat on what they're doing and how they want to do it. But again, when you play this style of defense, they can create angles from different points. And they know their system inside and out, and so we got a week to learn it and try to figure out some situations that they want to try to jump in and out of, and then do our best to get a hat on the hat, especially in the run game and the pass game.
Coach, do you think it's beneficial after having one MAC game to hop back into non-conference and try and figure a couple things out before you get back into MAC play?
Well, we are excited about the opportunity to play another game, right? You don't play as well as you can play. You're just anxious to play the next game to get that taste out of your mouth. So whether it's a conference game or non-conference game really has no bearing on us. We just want an opportunity to go out there and, improve and play better than we did the week before.
Has Doran changed that much? I mean, I don't know if you go back that far, 2012 when he was here. Has he changed that much, at least his game plan on offense? Or do you
Yeah, I'm sure he's evolved, right? He's had a bunch of different, coordinators over the years. I mean, he's been there 12 years. It's hard to say you're the same, after 12 years. So, and obviously you have to adapt to your personnel, and I think they've adapted to the personnel that they have. They have some guys that can make plays in space, and so they're trying to find as many ways as possible to get those kids in space.
What's it mean to you guys in the program, if anything, facing a former coach that was here and had the success he had in his time here?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean anything, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously he took the program to great heights. We acknowledge that and appreciate everything he's done for the program, but that has no bearing or outcome or anything to do with the game that's going to be played on Saturday. We know we're playing a very good opponent. We respect them, and we have to play our best to give ourselves a chance to compete at a high level.
Coach, you talk about preparing for the elements. Obviously, with this hurricane, you can get the whips of it in the Carolinas. How have you ever been hitting on the ball security drills?
Yeah, no, we practiced in the rain this morning. It was raining hard. So we were out there, and we got a lot of great wet ball work this morning. Guys understand what they need to do, how they need to attack. It's always funny, right? Receivers think, I'm going to just wear these gloves, right, until you drop a ball, and then all of a sudden the gloves come off. So I'd rather, get those type of things out the way in practice before we have to deal with it in the game. And that was a great opportunity for us to work in the elements this morning. Our kids really embraced it, had a lot of energy, a lot of urgency, and you can tell that they ready to get back and play a football game.
I know it's not a must-win, but both clubs kind of after what took place a week ago, they need to get this thing turned around a little bit, each side for a win, whoever wins on, obviously on Saturday.
Yeah, I guess when you say turn it around, I mean, what you said.
Go forward, you know.
Yeah,
forward,
yeah. I mean, you know, we're here to play a game and try to play the best that we can play. And that's all you can ask for. And I think that's what's important for our players to understand. Just play as best as you can play this week. And that's the only thing that matters. You can't get reactionary on results, right? Because that's insignificant. Did you go through the right process? Did you study the game the right way? Did you study the details of the game plan? And did you play as hard as you can possibly play during the game? And those are the only things you're guaranteed. And so if you can handle the things that you can handle and control the things that you can control, as a coach, that's all you can ask for.
Talk a lot about the experience with this group. Do you see it's easier for them to take accountability after that loss when you go back and watch it on tape? Do you think it's easier as a coach? Do you see them taking more accountability themselves instead of coach on player accountability?
Yeah, that was the thing I was most proud about. You know, our leadership council, they really stepped up, and you know, obviously there's things in the locker room that you don't always see as a coach, and they was able to address those situations. You know, one of our fights is division from within, and so you know, division from within can only happen if you care about what somebody else thinks. Right? I said, listen, you guys have been working together since January as a team. You guys are the only people that's waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30 in the morning to get yourself ready to practice, to play your best. And one thing I learned as a coach when I was in Baltimore, and it was clear as day, Kyle Juszczyk, he made a mistake in the game, and I jumped him. And he said, Coach, I have a family. I have responsibilities. Do you really think I'm trying to mess up? And that was an aha moment for me, right? And ever since that moment, I've never been disappointed in a player because they are the last people that want to mess up or make a mistake or not, you know, do the right thing. And so when you look at it from that perspective, it's like if you have a family member, are you going to love them less because they did something wrong, they didn't get good grades in school? You know, I don't tell my kids, you know what, hey, Tierra, I don't love you today because you got bad grades in school. That's not life. They put everything into getting themselves prepared to try to go out there and compete at a high level, and then we have to live with the results.
Coach, talking about the leadership council, what's your committee of captains looking like for this week?
Yeah, great question. J.J. Lippy, Skylar Gill-Howard. I always give it to Donna. Did I give it to you?
You didn't give it to me.
I'll get it to you. But those two for sure. Those two have been great captains. Evan Buss is one this week. I'll get you the other two. So.
Coach, aside from the off-the-field stuff after Buffalo that you saw that was positive, now that you've had time to evaluate, what were some of the things that you guys did well on Saturday?
Well, I think, you know, defensively we held them to 184 yards of offense. You know, I thought they played really, really good defense. We had a chance to make some plays. You know, offensively, you know, we had opportunities to make explosive plays, and we didn't make those plays. I thought, you know, some of the things we did from a special team standpoint, you know, backing them up and putting them in situations that were stressful, really gave us a chance to, you know, try to change the game. You know, we're a 14-3, and we kicked the ball off, and we got a chance to get a free ball with a ball on the ground and have a chance to go up 21-3. So we did a lot of positive things. Obviously, the negative things we did, we turned the ball over, right? We had a fumble, and we had an interception, and those things can happen for us to be successful. And then, obviously, our special team, we have to be able to make field goals, or if we can't make field goals, then we need to be more aggressive on offense and go for it on fourth down.
On the one that was blocked, was it a good snap or just a low kick, or in the overtime, or did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the holder bobbled the ball, and the guy on their side had a great jump on the ball. and made the block. So, we have to have a cleaner operation for us to be successful. And the missed kick we miss, the holder has to turn the laces, right? If the laces are not turned completely, it's hard to make it. It's hard for a kicker to do his job if the operation is not clean. So I don't blame Cannon, but if we don't execute in those situations, we need to do something different as we move forward.
You've seen a few players that didn't get maybe a lot of action against Western, and then last 2 games of saying, hey, this guy's got to get back more on the field maybe to see what he can do. You see very many of those players or not that didn't do that much early?
No, we're going to play our best players the longest. So, we're going into every game trying to win, and in order to win, you got to play your best players.
So anybody surprised or anything? So
No.
Coach, how about along that line? How about Nave Sanders, the game that he had? He's not even listed on the depth chart. I don't know if that's an oversight or not, but
No, it's not an oversight.
Is that a sign of just how quickly this young man is progressing?
Yeah, I mean, Nava is an explosive player, but also, he's a situational player. So, he spent half his week on the scout team and building his craft on the scout team. And that's what I told our scout team guys. Here's the guy that, he's working his craft on the scout team, and then obviously, when the situation dictates, he's going to go out there and play. And he was a difference maker for us in those moments. And but we got 4 or 5 guys ahead of him that's going to play more. But when they call your number, you need to be prepared to go make plays. And he went out there and made plays. And so obviously, we got to continue to find situations that's going to be conducive to him. But he's a great special teams player for us as well. We don't win Kent State last year if Nave Sanders don't knock the ball loose on the kickoff team. So he's a very valuable member of our team. But at the same time, there's no oversight. There is, guys play in different situations.
You mentioned the turnover battle after the game, how pivotal it is for you guys to win that. You talked about the offensive side of that here a little bit, but the defensive side of that, and you guys have only forced 3 turnovers this year. Just how much of a focal point is that, and just kind of generally, what do you think you got to do to kind of up that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, they put a ball on the ground on 4th down, and we pick it up and then put it back on the ground, and they recover. But we have to have a renewed sense of punching at the ball. I showed 3 or 4 examples of Buffalo punching at the ball from our offensive players, which to me is coached, right? Players are going to do what they're coached to do. And so we have to put more emphasis on trying to take the ball away if we want to create more turnovers. Turnovers are just not going to happen unless you are putting an emphasis on turning the ball over. And that's something that I've talked to our staff since training camp. Punch at the ball. So the statistics are 75% of the time, the second person that comes in is normally the one that knocks the ball out. So if I'm the second guy coming in, I need to be punching at the ball no matter what, because that's hard on an offense. It's hard on offensive players when guys are constantly punching at the football.
So it's not a kind of a certain technique, though, that you got to do that? Some guys can do it, some guys can't.
No, they all can do it. It's just it's a 1-2. It's a muscle memory. And so we have to make sure that is part of our DNA of finishing tackles. And we did it a couple times in game. They did it a lot today in practice. It just has to be second nature. In order for something to be second nature, you have to make sure you drill it and practice it all the time.
Coach, talk about performance you had on defense, holding Buffalo to 184 yards. Looking at kind of like Buffalo's offense, NC State, do you see some similarities with how they both have dual threat quarterbacks and the running back rooms they have?
Yeah, I think the last 3 weeks we've faced teams with dual threat quarterbacks with strong running games at the running back position. So from that standpoint, there is some carryover on the focus. The one thing where NC State is a little bit different is they have some dynamic players at the wide receiver position, and number 10 especially. So we have to make sure that, we know where he's at. We know what he can do, whether he's playing outside, whether he's playing a slot, whether he's motioning. They're going to, I'm sure they're going to try to get him the ball 10 or 12 times in different ways, and we got to make sure we know where he's at and try to get this guy tackled.
Coach, you normally play a lot of your games in the Midwest. Does anything change when you play a game out in North Carolina here, as far as like, do you guys get there a day earlier, or how does that all work out for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll do our same normal routine on Friday. Obviously, we're flying to North Carolina State, so I think it's a grass field, so that'll be different. But besides that, we'll get there and go play. It's an early game, which is great. You wake up and go play, and obviously, I think it'll be a tremendous atmosphere. So we're certainly looking forward to that.
Yeah, you got back-to-back early games now with announcing this week with you guys too.
Yeah, I mean, for a coach, the best game in the world is the early game. To me, you wake up and play as opposed to waking up and, twiddling your fingers for a while. And you wake up, eat breakfast, get on the bus, go to the stadium, and go play.
I assume it benefits you guys. You practice in the morning all the time.
Yeah, no, listen, we practice at 7:30. We're practicing, so to play a game at 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock, I mean, that's easy. It's like we didn't slept in. So that is an advantage for us from a body clock, standpoint. I think our guys would be excited to go play.
Knowing that you are going against another Power 5 opponent, is there anything you go back and look at the Notre Dame practice week and kind of emulate that a little bit going into this week, or is it kind of just week-to-week basis?
Yeah, it's just week to week, right? The opponent is different. The schemes are different. The talent is different, all those things. So for us, it's about our preparation and how we prepare. And like I tell them, the preparation knows no opponent. So you can't say, hey, all of a sudden I'm going to, do this for this game and not for this game. That doesn't work. But the execution has to be there on Saturday. And that's the most important. Practice well, prepare well, put the extra time in, but then you have to execute in those moments. And I'm excited to watch these guys play on Saturday.
All right, anything else for Coach Hammock? All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Players here, we'll get started. Kate Haberman, defensive tackle, Jason Profit, nickel, and Andrew McElroy, wide receiver. Questions for Huskies?
Just for both the defensive guys, last week you guys held Buffalo to 184 yards. What are some of the positives that you can take away from your performance on the defensive side of the ball last week?
Okay, go ahead.
I think we did an excellent job knocking out the run game and the pass game for that. But, losses can be frustrating sometimes. So I think it's just kind of they're frustrating, but you learn a lot from them. So, it's just a lot, they made just too many big plays, like maybe 184 yards total offense, but I bet you almost half of that came from like 2 or 3 big plays, and it cost us the game. So just kind of learning how to eliminate those big plays and, be efficient.
Jason?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Kay. Learning how to eliminate the big plays. I mean, down the stretch, they made like some big plays in the second half. So like, just having the grit to fight to the end and like stay on our toes until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's one thing kind of I would say I'm really proud of the defense is, we were put in a couple really tough spots and, the only people that matter is us, you know what I mean? No matter where we are with the ball. And we really stepped up and got off the field, held them to field goals where, it's really easy to, like after that interception, it's really easy to give up a touchdown there, right? They got all the momentum and we stopped them, right? So the field goal gets blocked in overtime. We still hold them to a field goal and give us an opportunity to block their field goal. So proud of them there.
For you, Kate, on that specific situation, right, you have the 2 blocks on the year. How hard were you trying to get in there? Did you try any of the stuff that you tried before to get in there? And they obviously know you've blocked them, so how hard were they focused on you on that play?
Yeah, I noticed that, this past game they did a lot of guard over on their field goal units. Buffalo did. They also, they're kind of changing around kick angles and, so, and not a lot of special teams do that, but I don't know if that was a specific game plan for us after coming off, a game where we just blocked 2 kicks. But I still feel like we got a lot of push. Their kicker did a really good job of getting a lot of kind of arc on their balls rather than, more line drive type kicks. So that makes it a lot harder to block it from the interior. This one's for Jay Sean. I know you talk about eliminating the big plays. I know you were part of the big play for the 46-yard touchdown. How hard has it become to eliminate those, especially with a guy like number 10 on NC State and keeping him mitigated?
Just focusing on the preparation for practice. I would say that's the key to making those plays in the game. Is doing them in practice that give you the confidence to execute that in the game.
Andrew, for you guys on the offensive side of the ball, it obviously wasn't your best performance last week, but what have you guys been working so far this week to try and correct things and be able to put more points up next week?
For sure. I think as an offense, we've just been working towards consistency, just being able to make the plays when they're there. And like Jay Sean was saying, that confidence that you build during practice between the different repetitions and just being able to go out there and execute our plays well.
And Andrew, I know this morning you guys had a practice in the rain this morning. How do you think the receivers did handling the elements, especially with what rainy weather expected this weekend?
Yeah, I think we did real good as a receiver group, especially being the first rain practice. It's just it's different than having a dry day, and just being able to get used to those elements is very important. I feel like today definitely helped us out.
Jay Sean, how important is it to this group to start forcing more turnovers? How much of a focal point has that been in practice for you guys?
It's always been a focal point. From the beginning of the year, we have a standard of being +2 in the takeaway category. Last week we didn't execute that to our best, so this week is definitely a focal point, and we definitely want to force more turnovers, make the big plays when they come to us. So, yeah, that's definitely something that the coaches are preaching.
Andrew, Coach talks about how hard Ethan works every day, each week, all that. What have you been able to see out of him these last couple of days recovering after the loss and trying to get back on track this week?
I've seen the same leadership that he's always had, just being able to build chemistry between the entire offense and just being able to stay a leader, staying positive, and just making sure that everyone is level-headed and ready for this upcoming week.
Jay Sean, this one's for you. So NC State's played 3 different quarterbacks this season, one of which the NIU defense, some of the players have already seen, is Grayson McCall. What goes into the preparation throughout the week when you kind of don't know which quarterback's going to come out there on Saturday?
The coaches have put in a good plan to prepare for all of the quarterbacks, I would say. So, preparing for Grayson, preparing for the backup 16. We know, he's a threat with his legs. Grayson is a great field general. So, just giving us different looks, giving us the scout team guys that can compare to these guys to give us the looks that will match up to how they play.
Andrew, Coach was saying how he's been stressing the message of making sure that even after the game Sunday that he still loves you guys, he still cares for you guys. How important was that message to hear, and how was it received by the team?
That's very important. I feel like the team received it very well. Just knowing that win or lose, we are still a team, we're still a family, and that we're always there for each other. So regardless of the outcome of the game, we'll still have that good team chemistry and know that we will have each other's backs, and then that will just make us the best team possible.
This one's going to be for all 3 of you. So obviously last week you go in top 25 you lose, now you're not. And now going against your second Power 5 team on the schedule, do you guys like it better, being kind of seen as an underdog where you're kind of slept on, I guess, is the best way to put that?
Kate?
Yeah, personally, the pressure doesn't mind me. Pressure is a privilege. So, top 25, whatever. You still got to put the ball down and play football. You know what I mean? You still got to go out there, play physical, do your assignment. Underdog, not underdog. A lot of us feel like these P4 games mean a lot more to us because a lot of us feel that like we were overlooked in our recruiting process or not given a fair shot, and NIU is the place that gave us our opportunity. So we just love taking advantage of these type of games.
Jason?
Yeah, I'll say the biggest thing about these games is not like giving into like the outside expectations. Like we all in here have our standard of football. Like we all know what it is to play like a Husky. So to basically like chase our standard and not chase the expectation. Like these are big games. I get it, but I think the focal point is not based off us being top 25 or not. It's based off like what we can control. Like playing our brand of football, and we all know what that looked like. That's what we're really chasing for these games.
Andrew?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with both of these guys. Just being able to play to the standard regardless of who you play, whether it be conference, non-conference, or a Power 4 team. Just being able to go out there and play our game is very important and just uphold our own standard.
Kate, obviously looking at the goals over here, only one game with 3 sacks or tips, and then obviously one game with 3 takeaways as well. How does that kind of go hand in hand with it, and how are you guys working on the line to get some more pressure on the quarterback?
Yeah, so I believe there's 9 goals up there, and the goal for like we've never lost a game at any stop Coach B's been at and here if we get at least 5 of those goals. So the goal is always knock off 5. So the sacks, obviously you want more pressure and stuff like that, but sometimes we're just not in those situations, you know what I mean? Or it's your coverage playing great, balls are getting batted down, or certain teams won't want to give the defensive line to make an impact on the game, right? They're going to get the ball out quick, they're going to do draws, they're going to do a whole bunch of things. So sometimes the stats aren't always like the most truthful, like when it comes to what teams actually did against us. And then like Prof said earlier, takeaways. That's obviously a category we have to improve on defense. And it's not like we haven't had opportunities. That fumble on 4th down against Buffalo, it was right there. We had it in our hands, but we didn't come up with it. That 50-50 ball that ended up being a touchdown. We were right there. So just taking advantage of the opportunities, and it's hard. It's hard to force takeaways because obviously offenses all week long, like turning over the ball is a big no-no. So taking away the ball is hard, but we have to make it a bigger priority.
Andrew, this one's for you. You obviously transferred in the spring. Can you just talk to some of the coaches or players that have helped you along your way to be one of the key members of the offense this season?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say everyone has truly helped me, especially my teammates, just in the locker room and just throughout every day. Just being able to learn from everyone that I'm around is very important. And then I'd say all of the offensive coaches have, in some way or shape or form, have helped me out, especially Coach Hammock, Coach Hawk. Those are just 2 of the coaches that I see most of the time, but Coach Hawk has definitely made a big impact between different receiver drills that we do and different, I'd say the different drills and how we study film, for sure.
And now this one will be for all 3 of you. So Coach was talking earlier about how these next 2 games have an 11 a.m. kickoff time. And now for all of you, how does that do for your body clock, especially with having the morning practices that you do?
Jason?
I mean, with the morning practices that we have, I feel like we're in a great spot. I mean, we practice at like 7 a.m., so like our body is getting going early. So like giving us an extra 4 may give us like some extra rest. So I think we're in a good spot. I like the way that we have our practice schedules, so we're prepared for any element.
Andrew?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Just having early morning practice, make sure our body is up and ready to go. And playing at 11 o'clock, that gives us a couple extra hours. So we'll be all be fresh, get some extra time to prep our bodies and do whatever we need to do.
Kate?
Yeah, I don't know, when and where, you know what I mean? I don't really care. So, it's, put the ball down, let's play football. Obviously everyone has their own routine to get through, but, I love the game, I love playing the game, so.
Oh, that's for, go ahead.
Any of you guys, all of you guys, Coach mentioned he showed you a Kobe Bryant video clip, I think this morning maybe it was, but what was the message you took away from that? How helpful and impactful was that message for you?
Andrew?
Yeah, so he was talking, so Kobe was asked how does he take losing, and he said he loves it. And he was just saying how it's such a great opportunity to be able to learn from losing and learning from just the lessons that come within losing. And I feel like that is big for us to be able to learn from our loss this past week and then be able to take those lessons and then integrate those for the rest of the year.
I think it's great to, renew our mind coming off of a tough loss. Kobe, he mentioned, just learning from the losses, like seeing them as like an advantage. Like you get to learn from an experience. So I think it helped me have the mindset of like, let's see what we could clean up. Let's see what we can do better for this upcoming week.
Yeah, I think Prof kind of hit it on the head there. He says we get to learn, it's an opportunity. We have to take advantage of opportunities. And obviously everyone likes learning a little better after winning, but it's also harder to learn after winning. When you lose, normally you're just teams could be more in a more fragile state, and when you're in a more fragile state, it's easy to learn to get yourself ready for the next game. So.
This one's for all three of you as well. Coach talks a lot about the Leadership Council, and you guys have the ability to, self-govern and coach within the locker room without him or the other coaches. What's it like in those moments after a loss to some of the younger guys that haven't been in that situation before?
Okay.
Yeah, I know at least in our Monday morning Leadership Council, no words really mince. Like we told each other how we feel and how to improve, because that's the only way, right? Person-to-person interactions are the only way that you move forward, right? It's easy to send a message into a group chat. It's easy to, talk to someone else about someone else. It's hard to confront someone face-to-face and talk. And I think everyone heard a little bit of something they didn't want to hear, but that needed to be improved. And that Leadership Council meeting was very, I think, beneficial for leadership. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing from the leadership responsibility was, just picking up the younger guys. We all been in this situation before. Like, we have experience. We've lost some tough games. So just reminding guys what the goals were, that we're still a good team. Like, this loss doesn't, define us. Those are, the main things we had to reinforce, because it's hard to get over, a loss like that. So, just bringing everybody back to center, bringing everybody together and not separating, not going our own way, staying together.
Yeah, I think Jay Sean hit it perfectly, and I just think it's a great opportunity for the younger guys to see how we react as an older group, so that they know, okay, the older Leadership Council is still intact and still confident in this team, and that is how they will grow and develop.
How would you guys describe the energy level today at practice?
I'll definitely say it was some excitement there. Being able to, like Kobe said, being able to have the opportunity to grow from the mistakes we were making. I think it was very exciting. Guys were engaged. Guys wanted to practice. Guys wanted to improve. So it was definitely positive.
I don't know about these guys, but we had short yardage emphasis today during practice, and short yardage emphasis, that's my cup of tea. So the trenches were juiced up. It was a lot of fun, a lot of talk back and forth, all friendly, of course. But the vibes were high.
Andrew?
Yeah, I would agree. The vibes were high. There was great energy all throughout practice. Everyone's ready to get this new week started and get going, get prepared for NC State this weekend.
Anything else for these guys? All right, we'll let them go. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Nice job.